Hello coaster lovers. So there are a lot of destination parks throughout Europe. From Europa Park to Disneyland Paris, there are so many options to choose from when you're visiting Europe. One of the prime countries to visit is the UK, and their flagship park is Alton Towers. This park opened to guests in April of 1980. It also had a very rough history that can be saved for another time. And in honor of the new Nemesis that opened a week ago at the time of this recording, I took all of their 10 different roller coasters and ranked them from worst to best. So if you are new here to Keen's Coasters and have been to Alton Towers or planning a trip there, make sure to subscribe and bash the bell. So let's begin the list with the Lone Kitty Coaster, Octonauts Roller Coaster Adventure. This is a Zamperla Junior coaster, and I'm not that crazy about the Octonauts. I watched it for like a little bit when I was little, but anyway, this is a pretty solid kitty coaster. The theming around it is so cute, and the lead car is amazing with Captain Barnacles up front. Going to the other side of the park in the number 9 spot, this is a good step up from Octonauts. It's the Runaway Mine Train. Not to be confused with the Aero Mine Trains at Six Flags Over Texas and Great Adventure, this is a Mach-powered coaster, and it's so intertwined with the rapids. It's like how Hall's Uberkopf intertwines with Voldampf. You have some pretty decent theming along the course, and it really uses the terrain. You're like right above the ground. Going back to the other side of the park, this coaster is right next door to Octonauts. It's Spinball Whizzer. This is a upgraded Mauer spinner like you find at Hershey Park, Lagoon, Waldameer, and so on. This was originally themed to Sonic, but they lost the IP in 2015. If you get an unbalanced car on these Mauer spinners, you can get these things spinning at a frightening pace. The layout is pretty good, and I like the color scheme. A ride that does the bare minimum, and beware, this is going to be a very controversial replacement. Next place at number 7 is Oblivion. And I know this was the first dive coaster, but this ride is pretty underwhelming. The layout is basically a drop, a turn, and that's pretty much it. There is nothing much to this ride besides the drop being pretty cool, but the layout is not interesting at all. On to the next place spot. For the UK enthusiasts who are watching this, prepare to be triggered, because number 6 is given to Rita. I don't really get the hate about this coaster. Yes, it's rough, yes, it's pretty short, but I think it's solid. The launch packs in one mighty punch, and you have 3 twisted airtime hills with some pretty good airtime. The restraints though are the hard plastic intimate over the shows like on Cheetah Hunt and King the Ka. In my opinion, this is the most underrated coaster at this park, and we'll hit the most overrated coaster in a second, but a ride that is not overrated is Galactica. For it being the first B&M flyer, B&M knocked it out of the park for this ride. It really accentuates the flying aspect with the finale where it goes over some pathways, along doing inversions in a flat-lie. I also like the futuristic ring thing you fly through after the first drop. This was a great first attempt at a B&M flyer. A ride that featured a one-of-its-kind element is 13. If you don't want to hear spoilers about this ride, skip to this time frame. So what I was talking about was the first ever drop track. It has a little drop and then a big drop. It also has some really good theming when you launch backwards out of the drop track building. But onwards to the ride experience, the first drop is severely trimmed. It's like Hellcat at Clementon Park, but everything else makes it a top tier family coaster minus the creepy theme. Now we are going to move into the top 3 with the most overrated coaster at this park in my opinion, with Nemesis Reborn. Honestly, I don't get the hype. Some people say it's the B&M invert, and I see why. You get really darn close to the ground, and the inversions have some whip. The new version runs very similar after watching 2 POVs at the same time, but I don't know, something about old Nemesis makes it better than the new version. Maybe it's the color scheme with the rust and its faded white track, but I don't know. Now we're going up the midway a bit to talk about the second place coaster, which is the GCI Wicker Man. This is honestly a pretty good GCI. To the theming, to the amazing layout, you should not scoff at Wicker Man. Bob is a fantastic centerpiece for this attraction. The ladders are really good, especially with the 270-degree helix towards the end of the coaster. It has some good airtime along the course, but it's not focused on airtime. That is definitely what this park needs, a ride that focuses on airtime, but the layout does not even match to the one and only Smiler. This is the best roller coaster at Alton Towers in my opinion, but I feel like this park needs that standout roller coaster. This is just a supporting coaster, and it's a good one. It contrasts Wicker Man very well. This has a crap ton of inversions, 14 in total. It has this really cool interaction. It's in between the Batwing and the Cobra Roll. The way that the trains go through it is such a spectacle. You also cannot forget about the 2 airtime hills and the creepy theme. Definitely the creepiest themed coaster in my opinion. It is a little shaky, so watch out for that. But this ride is definitely pretty good. But those are just my opinions on how I would rank all of Alton Towers' coasters. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap that like button. There will be more ranked videos coming soon. And like always, make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.